Welcome to Malaysia, welcome to live coverage. The build-up starts to round 20 in the 2025 MotoGP World Championship. It's always fantastic to be back in this part of the world, of course, a part of the world which is very familiar to MotoGP. Pedro Acosta looks like he's taken a bit of an early tip-off in the second corner.
And there goes Pedro Acosta. Fortunately for him, that's about as slow a crash as you can have around the Sepang circuit.
Pedro Acosta, well, he made a very early mistake this morning in a dry FP1 session, and he has made the carbon copy move once again, not in the same corner, but it's very early on then that Acosta has dropped the ball on the factory KTM.
Yeah, and he wasn't exactly quick to get that up and running either. Another front-end washout in a slow hairpin for Acosta, so that is two very slow front-end crashes for Pedro Acosta in the space of 2 sessions. Fortunately, he is now back up and running.
What about Acosta though now? He might be finishing with the fastest time of day one here in Sepang. We track Acosta out of the final corner. Yellow flags out in sector 3. Over the line, Acosta goes. Wow. It's the first 57 of day one here in Sepang. A 1:57.559.
Boys, it's been a day of extremes for Pedro Acosta. A crash in either session, but he ends it on top.
Is it second place for Zarco? Over the line he goes. It's better. It's even better. Well, he nailed the final sector. A 1:58.129. Crack a smile, Lucho. Johan Zarco has just put the LC Honda into P1. This is brilliant by Zarco. We saw how hard he was pushing the LC Honda a couple of moments ago to find that 58.129. Zarco threatening a big upset here if he can put the LC Honda into P1. Look once again how hard he is pushing that front tyre on the RC213V. Out of the final corner. A bit of movement on the rear tyre there as he grabbed a handful of throttle. Zarco to the finish line. Mia goes up briefly to second. 2 Hondas now inside the top 3. Through that final corner, Mir could be heading for P1 here. He's already in 4th place with a 1:58.408. Over the line, Mir goes. He does improve, but stays in P4. Fabio Quartararo, once again, looking a little bit agitated, a little bit frustrated. He's in that danger zone in 10th place.
Yeah, he cannot play any games here. He's got to get out there and get a lap time on the board.
Quartararo up to 5th, a 1:57.868. Surely that's enough. Rins crashing out after he just set the fastest first sector of the session. At the moment, well, he's in 10th place. Is he going to be able to salvage that Q2 spot? Alex Rins, who was down really late on, right at the end of that practice session, well, there'll be relief all round for the factory Yamaha rider as Rins does go into the top 10. Jack Miller goes up into 3rd place.
Jack Miller ensures that Yamaha have 2 bikes in the top 5 with Fabio Quartararo just behind Joan Mir.
That was a great job. Some late lap that by Miller. No wonder he's got a big smile on his face. Dives into the pit lane, does Pecco. He's having a look at some well-worn soft front, soft rear rubber here, isn't he, for Michelin. Plonks back down into the seats alongside Christian Gavarini and Gigi Dell'Igna and starts yet another debrief. Yeah, there's the wobble. There is the big speed wobble. Of course, we saw it very dramatically and very publicly for Bagnaia and Ducati in the warm session pre-Grand Prix in Australia last week. And now this is something that he has been talking constantly about over the last few weeks.
Can Pecco Bagnaia dodge a bullet in this final lap of the session? The finish line is coming up. He needs to be in the 57s, really. Bagnaia doesn't make it. Alex Marquez has dropped his Ducati at turn 2. Alex Marquez had just started his first flying lap on a soft rear tyre. He didn't make it very far.
And Alex will now not need rain. He's already right on the cusp at the back end of that top 10 in 9th place. Turn 2, little front end washout as he threw that Gresini Ducati onto its left-hand side. We saw Acosta go down in similar fashion right at the beginning of FP1 this morning. Alex has taken a tumble going through turn 7, which is a pretty quick get-up around this Sepang circuit.
Not the ideal start to his weekend. It's in the middle of 7 and a nasty little lip of the curb there as he was sent firing over into the gravel champ. Turn 15 to go.
1 corner left on this current lap for Alex Marquez. This would be some salvage job by Alex, having crashed on his first time attack in that second corner. Pedro Acosta, another rider like Alex, who's been on the floor twice on day one, putting together a good late charge on the factory KTM. Over the line though, we'll track Alex up into P3, a 158.183 from Alex. Surely that has got him through into Q2. Is going to be an end of session in terms of slick tyre action. You just saw there Pedro Acosta was wide into the first corner. We're just about to click into monsoon season here in this part of Southeast Asia. I'm reliably informed by the locals. Of course, it's a tropical climate here in this part of the world. Sepang falls silent. Every single rider now is back in pit lane. This could be the calm before the thunderstorm potentially here in Malaysia, as everybody, including myself and Lewis, are just glued with our eyes on the skies to see whether there is going to be any additional rain. Quartararo, Zarco, Aldeguer, Mir, Betseki, Acosta, Espargaro, Fernandez, Morbidelli and Bagnaia in the top 10. And there is that rain. It is starting to fall heavier and heavier.
As the hills in the background starting to be surrounded by some pretty heavy cloud cover. We could see them pretty clearly off into the distance around 10 minutes ago. Now we can barely see it.